Hello everyone! Welcome to Brainblitz TV, Nursing in 10 Minutes. What's in must come out and what's out must come in. Today is a brand new episode and we'll talk about a very significant topic. One way in addressing, especially for the emergence of our pandemic infection today, and that's going to be the infection of coronavirus, or probably the infection of COVID-2019. So our focus today is on the things that you need to do once you have been infected with the coronavirus or once you have been exposed with the virus. But before that, let us have this first. Welcome back everybody, welcome to Brainblitz TV, and of course, as what I mentioned earlier, we will be talking about a very significant issue and a very significant concern, which is going to be requiring us to do something, especially on our own small and little way, in making sure that we're actually going to be preventing ourselves from infecting others, especially if you have already been infected with the virus or if you have been exposed with the virus. Of course, when we say things that you need to do, especially when you have been infected with the virus, I made a mnemonics for us to have, or for us to easily remember those things. And of course, in order for us to easily remember that, that's gonna be, I made a mnemonic, and that's gonna be isolate me. That's letter I, letter S, letter O, letter L, letter A, letter T, letter E, letter M, and letter E. That's isolate me. Okay, so that's gonna be the 9 specific things that you need to do, especially if you have been infected or if you have been exposed with the virus. Okay, let's begin with letter I. Letter I stands for isolate self for 10 to 14 days. So as much as possible, there is a need for us to make sure that you have been isolated from having contacts with the external world, because of course it will be very important for us to prevent ourselves from infecting others. So the maximum is 14 days, or it's going to be for 2 weeks. That's the standard of the World Health Organization. So you have to remember that there has to be proper isolation for a period of 10 to 14 days, or it's basically more or less 7 to 14 days. So that's 1 to 2 weeks isolation. So this isolation is going to be enough in order for us to determine whether or not you have been manifesting the symptoms, especially if you have been exposed to the virus, or if you have had a contact with someone who have been infected with the virus. Okay, letter I stands for isolate self for 10 to 14 days. Letter S. Letter S stands for stay home except for medical care, or stay at home except to get medical care. So, for example, in the isolation period, of course, if it is not required by you to go out of your home, it will be very important for you to stay home, unless there's a need for us, or there's a need for you to visit the doctor for consultation. So that's the second one. Letter S stands for stay at home except to get medical care. That's letter S. Let's now have letter O. Letter O stands for observe regular hand hygiene. So of course, we've mentioned in our previous vlog that hand washing is the most significant activity or intervention that we need to do, especially when we want to get rid of the infection of the virus. Of course, there is a need for us to observe a regular hand cleaning. Of course, when we do hand cleaning, it means that we need to use our antiseptic soap. Of course, we need to use our lukewarm water, and of course, you do that one in 20 to 25 seconds, because of course that's a standard as mandated by the World Health Organization. The third one is observe regular hand cleaning, or observe regular hand washing. Let's now have letter L. Letter L stands for locate doctor's number and call before visitation, or call before visiting the office. So it will be very important for us to remember that we have to have a copy of the number of the doctor or the physician, and of course, if we have already the symptoms of the virus or the infection, it will be very important for us to remember that you have to call the doctor's office first before you visit them. Okay, that's letter L. Letter L stands for locate the doctor's number and call the doctor's office prior to your visitation. That's letter L. Let's now have letter A. Letter A stands for avoid sharing personal household items. So when you are actually at home, it will be good that you will not be sharing your personal household items with other members of the family, because of course, as what I've said earlier, there's a need for us to have an isolation. So an isolation means that you have to separate also your household items from other members of the family, because of course, the mode of transmission of your coronavirus is through droplet transmission. So again, letter A is avoid sharing personal household items to members of the family. Okay, that is gonna be your letter A. Let's now have letter T. Letter T stands for there is a need to cover your mouth and nose when you cough and when you sneeze. So it will be good that when you are actually coughing and when you're actually sneezing, you have to make sure that there is going to be a cover of your mouth and at the same time your nose, because of course we are going to get rid of the chances that we are going to infect other individuals. So it will be very important for us to cover your mouth and nose when you sneeze and when you cough. And of course you have to discard or dispose this used tissues in its proper places. Okay, that is gonna be letter T. Letter E stands for exert effort on cleaning all high-touch surfaces every day. So we say exert effort on cleaning all high-touch surfaces every day. It means that all those things that you have touched on a daily basis will have to be cleaned as much as possible. There is a need for us to use your antiseptic or antiviral solution. Like for example, if you're using your Lysol solution for that purpose. So it will be very important for us to have this specific solution because it will be of help, especially in getting rid of the possibilities that the virus is going to be infecting others also. That's going to be letter E. Let's now have letter M. Letter M stands for monitor your signs and symptoms. So it will be very important for us to remember that you have to monitor your signs and symptoms on a daily basis because of course we have to determine whether or not there is going to be progression of the disease process or there is going to be progression of the infection. Of course, if you are going to remember always, coronavirus infection is going to start or begin with, of course, flu-like symptoms. Of course, it begins with fever, it begins with a respiratory problem, like for example, there will be shortness of breathing. So it will be very important for us to monitor these signs and symptoms on a daily basis. Lastly, letter E. Letter E stands for everyday wearing of face masks. So we say everyday wearing of face mask. It means, of course, it is advised that we're going to use N95, but of course, there's a possibility that we will not be able to use this item or this mask because sometimes it's going to be very expensive. So therefore, we are going to use the disposable mask instead. So of course, it is good that when you're going to wear the mask, since of course you have been infected already with the virus, it will also be good that you know what to do and of course what is the proper way of wearing this mask. Of course, the very first thing that you need to do is you have to make sure that the mask, of course, there has to be color coding of the mask. If you've been infected with the virus, it will be good that you're going to wear the mask with the color side, it's going to be touching you. Of course, it's going to be one way of making sure that you are preventing others from being infected by the virus coming from you. Okay? So those are the things that you need to do, especially if you have been infected with the virus. So that's going to be isolate me. Okay? So for us to recap or to have a recap, isolate me stands for letter I stands for isolate self for 10 to 14 days. Letter S stands for stay at home unless there's a need for you to go to the doctors for a visitation, or stay home except to get medical care. Letter O, observe regular hand hygiene. Letter L, locate doctor's number and call before visitation. Letter A, avoid sharing personal household items. Letter T, there is a need to cover your mouth and nose once you sneeze and once you cough. Letter E, exert effort on cleaning all surfaces or all high-touch surfaces every day. And of course, letter M stands for monitor your signs and symptoms on a daily basis. And lastly, letter E stands for everyday wearing of face masks. Okay, so I hope that I actually leave something which is going to be beneficial for everybody, especially for my avid subscribers in this channel. And of course, for those who are actually or who have not yet subscribed in my channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, which is actually going to be below this video. At the same time, don't forget also to click the notification button because of course that's gonna be making you be notified with the future uploads of this channel. And of course, don't forget to like the video, and of course, if you have something to say about the video, just don't hesitate to write that one in the bottom part of the comment section of this channel. So once again, this is Brainblitz TV, nursing in 10 minutes, what's in must come out, and what's out must come in. Of course, this is Brainblitz TV. Thank you so much. Bye!